Alamat, handa.
Huwag mo nang pigilan ang laman ng iyong damdamin. Alam ko na ang tunay mo na dahilan. Ba't agad kang umalis? Sana nagsabi mo na sa'kin para naman napaghandaan, yeah.
Mabuhay o in Kapampangan, luwid kayo. Ako po si Kirby Araullo, ang inyong friendly Pinoy historian. And if you are new to my channel, in this channel, I make videos about our people's history, our people's culture, and everything in between. Kaya naman, if you like learning about any of those things, don't forget to like, share this video, comment down below, and subscribe. So for today's video is another reaction video kasi marami sa inyo na-request na mag-react ako. A lot of you requested that I react to the new music video from Alamat. It's called Kbye. So the song is called Kbye by the new boy band in the Philippines named Alamat. And for those who do not speak Tagalog, Alamat in Tagalog, it means legends. The cognate of Alamat in Kapampangan is Amlat. And Amlat in Kapampangan, it could mean oral traditions, it could mean the oral history, it could also mean the traditional way of telling and sharing history. So fun fact muna, the creator behind Alamat, behind the group, the creative mind behind this group is Jason Paul Laksamana. So for those who may not be familiar with him, he's a famous director in the Philippines. He's a great director in the Philippines from my hometown. So we're both from Angeles City, Pampanga, and we're both Kapampangan. And I've actually known Jason for quite a while now, for over a decade. If I remember correctly, back in 2012, during the Cinema Region Film Festival that was held, if I'm not mistaken, in Bacolod City. Cinema Region is this big nationwide film festival in the Philippines where filmmakers from different provinces, different languages, festival to celebrate the different languages, the diversity of cultures in the Philippines. So it's a national film festival, and in 2012, Jason Paul Laksamana's film, my film, and another film from Pampanga. I think the third one is by Peterson Vargas, another great Kapampangan director who is really famous now. So the three of us were officially selected to represent Pampanga and the Kapampangan language in the 2012 Film Festival in Cinema Region. So yeah, another fun fact sa mga hindi nakakaalam, I did filmmaking. I studied filmmaking in college along with history, and I did several short films, and I haven't done any short film in a few years now, but I still want to make some more in the future. So yeah, I've seen their teasers, social media teasers, a lot on my newsfeed, but I haven't seen the music video yet, so I'm excited to see their music video. I'm excited to see what they have in store for us. So I guess, without further ado, let's hit play. I like how they're starting with the jeepney. Very iconically Filipino. Ooh, pidayit. Okay. Oh, albay. Oh, I guess that's how, or why he has the chili peppers, because it's albay. There's the pidayit guy, so I guess he's the Kapampangan one. Pampanga. Metro Manila. Sambales. Davao, Negros Occidental. Right? That's cool. Kalinga. Okay. Eastern Samar, cool. Ooh. Oh, okay. Bohol. This is cool. Ooh, Kapampangan. That's cool. Coconuts. I like this. Ooh, Barong in Indigo.
Bigla kang umalis, hindi ka nagpaalam. Pag-ibig mo siguro pansamantala lang.
Oh, cool. That's it. Yay. Okay, bye. Thanks. Bye. Just kidding. But yeah, it's a good music video. I like how colorful it is. I like how bright the colors are. I like it. I like Jeepney. I like the different outfits. Actually, I've seen snippets of their outfits on my social media, and I like how it represents a lot of their roots. And I also like, actually, in the beginning pa lang, I like how they had these cards that shows, or that says their provinces where they're from. If I'm not mistaken, I've seen, of course, Pampanga. I've seen Albay. I've seen Negros Occidental. I've seen Eastern Samar, Bohol. Ano ba? I think I saw Davao and Metro Manila and Kalinga. So I think I saw different parts of the Philippines that are represented in these cards. If you haven't been to the Philippines yet, those cards are actually the cards that you see on the jeepneys that tells you the routes where they're going. So very iconic Filipino jeepney theme music video. Oh yeah, I also saw Zambales. So if you're not familiar, Zambales is next to Pampanga. On the other side of Mount Pinatubo. One of the things that I'm actually excited, that I was very excited to see in the music video, was their outfits. I like how they're traditional yet they're modern. So I guess it's a modern take on traditional clothing, traditional fashion. But they don't just grab your attention, but they actually tell you more about the roots of each individual. So if you don't realize it, each of their outfits are very representative of their roots, of where they came from. So for example, the Kapampangan guy, the guy from Pampanga, was wearing pidayet. Pidayet, for those who may not know, is a traditional Kapampangan art, textile art, fashion, traditional Kapampangan fashion. Do I have one near me right now? Some of them are in my closet all the way over there, but oh, here's one. Pidayet Salampe, that was designed by the amazing Pidayet designer from the House of Pidayet, Philip Dizon Torres. So yeah, dakalpong salamat, Tito Philip, getting very beautiful Pidayet traditional Kapampangan scarf that you gifted me. Dakalpong salamat. It's very beautiful. It's one of my favorite scarves. He's an amazing designer, the amazing creative mind behind the House of Pidayet, a famous fashion house in the Philippines. Actually, I've known him for a very long time. I'm not gonna say how many years or decades, but I've known him since I was a little kid. So yeah, since the 90s, he's been designing gowns, dresses, fashion items, fashion statements for my grandma. So that's how I knew him growing up. And yeah, my grandma was pretty popular back in my hometown, back in the motherland. She was a beauty queen when she was a teenager. She was a public servant when I was a little kid, and she's literally a princess. She's of royal blood in Indigenous Kapampangan traditions. And yeah, I was excited to see Pidayet in the music video. And for those who want to check out Pidayet, the House of Pidayet, I'll include the links down below. So check it out. These are amazing traditional fashion, traditional Kapampangan fashion that are actually made from recycled textiles. So it's a Kapampangan tradition of recycling textile and turning them into these beautiful works of art. So definitely check them out. This is not a sponsored video, but I do love Tito Philip, so dakalpong salamat. Check them out. What else? What else did I see from their fashion? I saw Boxer Codex. So depictions from the Boxer Codex, I've seen it on their clothing. For those who may not be familiar, the Boxer Codex is one of the oldest documents, surviving documents in the Philippines. It's a depiction of the people in the Philippines, the diverse people in the Philippines from the late 1500s. So it's a good resource if you want to learn more about how our ancestors look like. There's a digital copy of the Boxer Codex available in the original scanned version of it online, so I'll include that link down below as well. But you can also buy the book with translations in English. But if you understand Spanish and you can read those old calligraphy, then you should definitely read the original one because it gives you more insight. I read it in the original Spanish, in the original calligraphy, not the translation or the transcribed one. But yes, the Boxer Codex. I was happy to see the Boxer Codex in their clothing. There's a lot of traditional themes, traditional clothing that they have that are wearing in this music video. But yes, check out their Facebook page. They posted a lot about what they're wearing and how it represents the roots of each individual in this music video and how it represents the diversity in the Philippines. Check it out. And speaking of diversity, perhaps my favorite part in this music video is the languages that they're using. The many languages they use in this song. So Alamat is Tagalog, but the group is from the different parts of the Philippines, and I love how they incorporated the different languages, their different mother tongues in this music video. If I'm not mistaken, of course I heard Tagalog, and I also heard Kapampangan, but if I'm not mistaken, I also heard Hiligaynon. I also heard Waray-Waray. I also heard Bisaya. So these are different languages that you don't normally hear in the mainstream pop culture in the Philippines. So I'm happy that they did that. You know, we don't really see that a lot in the mainstream media. We don't see that a lot. So this is really a breath of fresh air. And actually, it's not just a breath of fresh air, but you know, it's also very beautiful to hear these different languages. Napakasarap pakinggan ng mga iba't ibang wika ng Pilipinas, hindi lamang Tagalog, hindi lamang Filipino. So for those who may not know, according to the experts, as of 2020, there's about 186 languages in the Philippines that has been recognized officially by the experts, the linguists from all over the world. But sadly, some of them are extinct. Some of them are dying. So if you want to learn more about the languages in the Philippines, I made a video about it a couple years ago. So check out the links up here or down below for that video. So I was happy. I'm happy. I'm still happy that they really infuse a lot of the different languages in their song, in their music video, along with their outfits, along with those little placards that says where they come from. So I love that diversity, that they're highlighting the diversity in the Philippines. I love that. I mentioned this before in Izamil's Panalo, how he used the different language, how he rapped in the different languages in his different mother tongue. So I'm happy that Alamat has that same feel of really being proud of your roots, being proud of your own mother tongues that we don't really see a lot in the Philippines. And I also love the part in the beginning where the lights, the sign in the back that says Alamat, written in Baybayin, how it's flashing. I like that kasi I love how they use Baybayin to write Alamat, because Alamat is Tagalog and Baybayin is the indigenous Tagalog script. Actually, that's how I met Jason. We were both advocates of to preserve and promote the use of the indigenous Kapampangan script known as Kulitan. So it's different from Baybayin. Kulitan has a more complex rules, if you ask me. And I've been writing in Baybayin since before I was 7 years old. I learned it from my dad, who is Tagalog, who is a mixed Tagalog, Pangasinan, and Mestizo roots. And in terms of Kulitan, I learned Kulitan at a very young age. I was exposed to Kulitan at a very young age. Luckily for me, I belong to the clan, one of the clans that really preserved the writing of Kulitan, that never really stopped writing it since pre-colonial times to the present day. So shout out to the Tayag clan, the Tayag clans from Minalin, from Magalang, and of course Kulyat from Angeles, where I'm from. Shout out to all my Tayag cousins, my Tayag grand uncles, grand aunties. We have a big clan, and luckily for us, a lot of us are very talented. A lot of us are, you know, artists, scholars, culture bearers. So shout out to all of you. Dakalpong salamat king ega-dagang gagawin nyo to preserve our culture as a Kapampangan and as Filipino. Dakalpong salamat. Luwid kayo. So yeah, I really love how the whole concept behind this music video, actually not just behind this music video, but also the whole concept behind this whole boy band, from the outfits they wear to the languages they use in singing. I love how it's very reflective of the diversity in the Philippines, of our colorful roots, our diverse but colorful roots. You know how beautiful diversity is in the Philippines, because you know the Philippines is a very multi-ethnic, multicultural country. But a lot of people sometimes forget that. So I love that they made an effort to really reflect that and infuse that in their very modern take on pop culture, very P-pop. And hopefully this would lead to, you know, more representation of our indigenous cultures, or hopefully it leads to, you know, a more proper appreciation of our indigenous people, of our diversity and colorful cultures in the Philippines. I hope, you know, in the long run, I hope these kind of things, this kind of music videos, this kind of pop culture things would lead to the genuine empowerment of our indigenous people. And, you know, really appreciate them, really empower them, you know, not just downgrade or demote them into like mere tokens or costumes, tokens that you put on because they look exotic. You know, because we've also seen that. We've also seen a lot of that where they appropriate indigenous culture just because they look exotic, just because they look cultural. But you know, and I do hope that we see more of these, more of our indigenous roots, more of our indigenous people respectfully represented and protected in the mainstream media. And actually not just in the mainstream media, but also, you know, in other aspects of our society, from the schools to the government to the economy. I want to see our indigenous people be given more political power so that they can, you know, represent themselves and protect themselves. Genuine political power na makakatulong talaga sa kanila, hindi lamang yung tinotokenize natin sila as, you know, oh, indigenous, let's help them, but, you know, really help them empower themselves, ika nga. You know, to really allow our indigenous people to have their own voice and use their own voice and to have their own power to protect their culture and really help them to preserve these cultures, these indigenous cultures in the Philippines. Because again, the Philippines is very rich in indigenous cultures, yet we sometimes, a lot of times, actually we don't really appreciate it as much as it should be appreciated and represented in all aspects of our society. And I hope that more representation, more proper and respectful representation of our indigenous roots would also lead to lesser discrimination against the indigenous people, to lesser misunderstandings and oppression against our indigenous people. For example, when just recently when the news broke out about the Lumad students, the Bakwit Lumad students in Cebu, many were quick to judge them. Many were quick to accuse them of a lot of bad things. A lot of people were quick to judge them and make accusations. A lot of people were quick to paint this bad picture of our indigenous people without even making an effort to listen to their side of the story, without making an effort to learn from their conditions, learn about their struggles, So hope that we get a better understanding of our indigenous people that a lot of us tend to ignore. And we may not agree politically, we may have different political opinions, but the very least we can do is to listen to one another, listen to each other, learn from one another, before making any harsh judgments, before resorting to bashing. A lot of our people love to bash online, so before resorting to bashing, we should really make an effort to listen to one another. Actually stop bashing. Stop bashing people based on the little snippets that you see online. Because if you notice, a lot of this bashing online, a lot of this hateful messages on social media are really based on little snippets of information about another person, little snippets of misinformation. So we should really stop bashing people. At least make an effort to listen to them. At least make an effort to understand where they're coming from before we make any judgment at all. And I know that it's a long and rocky road towards really giving genuine justice to our indigenous roots, towards giving respectful and genuine representation of our indigenous diversity in the Philippines. It's a long and rocky road, but honestly, it's a road worth traveling. That we should all take on this adventure of decolonizing, this adventure of learning, unlearning, and relearning, this adventure of really getting to know, deeper into our roots, really getting to know our ancestors, and not just our ancestors, but our people today. For us Filipinos, there's a lot for us to learn, to really understand our people, to really get to know who we really are as people, as diverse people. Hindi lang tayo iisang identity lamang. We have a lot of multiple layers in our diversity, in our identities. We have a very colorful collection of different diverse cultures that are interconnected, interwoven with one another, that we should really make an effort to really, understand it and get to know our people, get to know and learn from the culture of our people. And again, not just our people from the past, not just our ancestors, but also get to know our people today, our diverse people today. And I hope that with music videos like this, with boy bands like this, that we see more of our pop culture really reflect and represent more of our diversity, our colorful diversity in our islands, our colorful interwoven roots in the Philippines. Kaya naman sa Alamat, to the boy band Alamat, like I said earlier, you have a lot of potential. I'm excited for you guys. So I really hope that you keep getting better at your art, to keep getting better at your craft, to really hone your talents, because you're very talented. This is just a start. Marami pa kayo mapupuntahan. So I'm really excited for you guys. So yes, best of luck sa Alamat. Good luck sa inyo. Best of luck sa inyo. Mabuhay kayo. Or as we say in Kapampangan, luwid kayo. And one more thing before I go, if you haven't followed me yet, follow me on social media for upcoming announcements about my book projects and paraffol. So magpaparaffle ako this week. So abangan niya sa social media. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Because I'll be raffling off signed copies of my book Black Lives and Brown Freedom, about the untold history of war, solidarity, and genocide during the Philippine-American War, especially the deep solidarity between Filipinos and Black people during the Philippine-American War. So abangan nyo yan. So again, if you're in the US, you can win a signed copy of my Black Lives and Brown Freedom book. But if you're in the Philippines or anywhere else in the world outside the United States, you can still win a digital copy of the zines that I made for my students at UC Davis, which are basically selected chapters from this book. So so tune in. Keep an eye out. Abangan nyo yan sa aking social media, because I'll be posting how to win, the instructions on how to win very soon, maybe even today before you see this video. So yeah. At para sa mga nagtatanong, for those who have been asking me about my Color Our Roots and Know Our Roots book and coloring book series, It will be available very soon, so keep an eye out for that as well. Actually, you can follow Know Our Roots, my new Instagram account, where I'll be posting more content about our history and culture, more fun facts. For more upcoming announcement about my coloring book, Know Our Roots, or coloring book, Color Our Roots, and book series called Know Our Roots. Abangan niyo yan. Keep an eye out. Stay tuned, ika nga. Thank you sa lahat ng inyong mga suporta. Shoutout sa lahat ng aking mga patrons sa Patreon. Sa inyong walang sawang suporta, thank you for your continuing support in helping me make more videos like this. And for those who want to help me make more videos like this, show your support and please be my patron. Check out the links below or get copies of my book, any of my books, or any of the merch link down below. Maraming salamat po. Dakalpong salamat. Or sa Bisaya, daghang salamat. Sa Ilocano, agyamanak. Sa Bahasa Melayu, terimang kasi. Sa Bahasa Sug, magsukol tuod kay mo. And one last thing nga pala before I go, today's shoutout goes to, drum roll please, but naging Voltas 5. But anyways, today's shoutout goes to Loisa AA. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Loisa AA, Loisa AA, kay Mergel or Mergel Berdan. Again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shoutout sa'yo. Shoutout kay Lazy Bubbles. Shoutout to you. That one's easy. Lazy Bubbles. Shoutout kay Gabriel Pastoral. Shoutout to you. And shout out to Jerome Calvo. Shout out to all of you. So for those who are watching this video and would like to be given a shout out in my next videos, don't forget to comment down below. I really tried my best to respond to all your comments, to all your messages, but there's a lot, so I don't get to respond to all of it, but I do my best to respond to everyone, especially the ones who are respectful and not hateful. So maraming salamat sa inyo. Dakalpong salamat for all your love and support. At malapit nang maubos ang baterya ng aking camera, so hanggang dito na lamang muna sa ngayon. So if you like this video and learn a thing or two, don't forget to like, share this video, comment down below, and subscribe. That's it for me today. See you next time, or in Tagalog, Kapampangan. See you next time, or in Tagalog, kita-kits, and in Kapampangan, Mikitix.
Bigla kang umalis, hindi ka nagpaalam. Pag-ibig mo siguro